Hello. Quick shout out to Theory 11 for this amazing Darren Brown playing cards. And Darren Brown is a really cool mentalist from Britain, I think. Yeah, and he has like really cool shows. But besides that, what I really want to talk about is these two books that we just read. And I just want to make a brief lessons that I've learned from these books. So the first one is Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke and The Rule by Larry Hite. So for those of you who don't know, Annie Duke is a World Series poker champion, and Larry Hite is an investment manager and founding partner of Mint Capital. It's one of those prominent hedge funds, and he is one of the pioneers of systematic trading and trend following. Quick lessons that I learned from these books with Thinking in Bets, I think you guys should really check this out, is that most of the time we tend to view life based on results and outcomes and not based on the different bets that a person placed in their life that help them get to those outcomes. With that being said, I realized that we should try and make bets in our life that has really good positive outcomes. What that means is that most of the time we tend to think like, oh, if I go to college, I will get a good job with a degree. But that's just a bet. We're just betting in our life that if we go to college and we get that degree, we're gonna have an outcome which will land us at a good job. But that's not always the case. So now when I think about it like that, we have to be strategic and on where we place our bets. So I'm betting that I'm gonna go to college and it's gonna open me to all these different outcomes. At the same time, while I'm doing that, I wanna bet on something else as well. Like maybe opening a online business or learning a skill that whatever that bet is would have a different expected outcome. That's one thing that I learned from Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke. And she said too in the book that when you're betting, that any outcome that comes out of it is a lesson for you. That's a quick introduction of Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke. Second one would be The Rule by Larry Hite. Larry Hite is one of those people who was bad in academics and he was terrible in sports. He had dyslexia, but it's actually his advantage in life because he says that he's terrible at most things. So he already expects that he's gonna be wrong at something, and whenever he's wrong at something, he always thinks about the worst baseline, like what's the worst thing that can happen to me? What's the worst thing that can happen to my investment, to this system that I created? And that actually helped him learn how to manage risk. So instead of looking forward to how much money he's gonna make, he always thinks, oh, how much can I lose? And he also talked about bets. That's why I feel like if you're ever gonna pick like books that you can read with each other, I would recommend these two, because this one's an autobiography and it's a really fun read. He talks about like 4 bets in life that you can make. You can have a good bet with a good outcome, a bad bet with a bad outcome, a good bet with a bad outcome, and a bad bet with a good outcome. And what you wanted to do is to place good bets even if the outcome can be bad, because what's important is the long run. Like if we keep doing this in the long run, what will be our expected outcome? And with that being said, the bad bet with a good outcome is actually really bad for you, because what that's doing is it's teaching you that what you're doing is good, and that could ruin whatever you're doing in life, or in your investments. If you think that, oh, if I over leverage my business, like if I keep borrowing debt to increase my capital so I can spend more money, then that's a bad bet with a good outcome in the short term, because you have money, you have something to spend with. But in the long run, that would cost you your business. Those are just a few things that I learned from these books. So check them out online. They're on Amazon. I dropped the links below. So yeah, feel free. I'm gonna try to make more book reviews because I read voraciously. Like that's what people on the podcast used to say. Voracious learner. It sounds scrumptious. Like something you say when you're hungry. Anyways, well, thank you for listening and have a great day, everyone.